dark light. Don't matter in this motherfucker, you heard? Blame it on the juice, blame it on Patron, blame it on the Jack, it got you in the zone. Blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the alcohol. I'm fucked up.
I just got a message. Unfortunately, Kiki Palmer can't make it to the podcast this time, unfortunately. Kind of a waste that we have this whole thing set up right now. Do you think we should have an idea? DeShawn, do you want to join us on the podcast? Oh, okay.
Wow. DeShawn, you know, I think that although that was a cool intro,
Hey, yes.
you know how I would have introduced you, DeShawn?
How would you have done that?
How I would have done it is, hey everybody, we're back with another episode of A Touch of Messy, and I know you have all noticed that our editing has gotten a lot better. There seems to be a bit more care and etiquette to how we do things on A Touch of Messy.
Oh, shit. Kiki Palmer can make it, actually.
That says mom.
I have her saved as mom.
Mommy. Well, the reason why it's gotten so dope is because we have Mr. DeShawn, our secret weapon.
The multi-talented.
Yeah, why don't you
you.
go ahead
DeShawn
and
Rivers.
introduce yourself? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
My name is DeShawn Rivers. I'm an artist, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. Wow, can't say that word.
It's tough.
Multi-instrumentalist and producer, in that order.
Yes.
Period.
And editor and audio engineer and technical producer of the podcast.
I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things.
You know, I think it's really cool because you're kind of like a box of chocolates. Like, you never know what you're going to get with you.
Oh, I agree.
Shout out Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And I just feel like every time I meet you, I learn something new. And I really do feel blessed and excited. You've added such a breath of fresh air to our podcast. Honestly, when you come around, like, I feel like Abdul feels like he has to, like, straighten up a little bit and, like, grow because you have such BDE. So some of you might be thinking,
Irritable
wow.
bowel syndrome?
You're like, you know what? Like, Abdul looks a little tall today. And the reason why is because he found out that DeShawn was going to be on our podcast, and he's sitting in a booster chair right now.
It's an ego inflator.
No, I feel like I was really nervous to add a different dynamic just because Abdul and I, like, have so much fun doing this. And, like, you know, we were doing great with each other. But it has been great adding a new... Huh?
We're a throuple now.
Yeah, it's like a perfect dynamic, the three of us.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
I think for me personally, you lift a huge weight off of me in terms of the technical side of things. Just because I don't have to worry about are we recording, is audio sounding good, especially with the edits. When I was gone in Kenya, you two kind of took over and were able to have those conversations. And
Weekly.
I could just be like, all right, I know this person technically understands what's going on, and we're not editing it in CapCut. We're editing it with real editing software. And I was just like, all right, things are great. So thank you for your service.
That's real heartwarming.
Salute.
I appreciate
I'm going to
that.
need y'all both to speak up, though. You guys are so quiet.
What do you mean?
Why do
real
guys,
heartwarming.
like, get in front of a mic and they start speaking all quiet?
It's just fucking men, you know?
Yeah, like, get it together, y'all.
I know.
I just like to talk low. I think it adds an allure in a way.
Yes. What did you text that one guy? Aura?
Oh my
Espresso?
God, we're
Espresso?
done. Wait, DeShawn, like, well, it's so funny because, right before you had reached out to me, Abdul, had been like, we need to hire someone to help us with the podcast, and, like, this is too much, da-da-da-da, like, I'm having fun, but also, like, I have so much on my plate, and I was like, crap, I don't know who would work with us with our no-budget ass podcast, and literally, like, an angel coming down from the Seattle heavens, you had messaged our podcast, and you're like, hey, like, if you guys ever need help with literally exactly what Abdul said, you're like, I'm your guy. And I was like, noted. And you and I had that call, and it, like, worked out perfectly. Like, everything that you were saying aligned with what we were looking for. And I'm curious, what made you decide to reach out? Walk us through that day.
I think y'all are cool people. I think y'all do cool things in the city. I will say for myself, I'm a bit of an opportunist. When
Great combo.
You are awesome.
I saw the opportunity. This is going to sound like an insult, and I don't mean this as an insult.
Insulting on our podcast?
But I saw the reels, and I was like, I don't think they have an editor, and I know how to edit, so this is like an opportunity to add value, and yeah.
That's perfect.
Wow. What was the clip that stood out to you the most?
Was it the typos and all the captions?
No, that was my fault. I know.
I will say, okay, so this isn't technically the edit, but I think when I saw the clips where it was in Mead Street, and then there was like that window was like all white behind y'all, and I was like the lighting decision here. I was like, I don't know, like this isn't like, I don't know if this was like the best arrangement, like, yeah, I don't know. I felt like it did not match the aesthetic I would have expected
from two beautiful people on a podcast.
Exactly. Everything after that was like pretty orange. It's getting really technical, but it's like it's
Damn,
like,
we didn't ask you all that. Hold up. This is ours.
Yeah.
The question
these are great
was,
notes.
what's your favorite clip?
That wasn't.
Favorite clip from before that? Let me see.
He's like, I didn't see it. I saw the color and
I was
said
just looking
no.
at the technical aspects of it.
I'm thinking. So,
Yeah, tell us your favorite thing about us. Top 5 favorite attributes about us.
5 favorite attributes
After the reel.
After the reel.
Yeah.
Picture
So
the reel,
the
yeah.
reel, I saw a reel where, it's gonna sound bad. I saw a reel where you were talking about being dark skinned, and it seemed like there was some animosity about that, and I was like, I don't know, like,
Congratulations, by the way.
and I was like, so I don't know if I call that a favorite. It's just the one that stood out.
Mm-hmm. The comments loved you on that one, by
No,
the
they
way.
didn't.
It's a-
Anything. So, okay, well, I have a little list of us for us. So, we did our little check-in and everything. You told us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to reach out. What have you learned so far in joining our podcast?
Some tea. You can
Like,
spill
what have
some
you
tea.
learned about us or, like, the job? Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like I know a lot about y'all, to be really honest. I feel like after watching the episodes and really like, because I have to watch the episodes a couple times to get the edits, and I feel like I do know a lot about y'all. I feel like I have some understandings of y'all's trauma. Not as scary as that sounds. I don't want to like point them out right now.
Why?
Whisper Daisha's in my ear.
No, say it. No, actually, DeShawn, this is a touch of messy, not a touch of bare your feelings. Come on. Come on.
Let's go.
Talk to us. We're ready. You got our signed permission.
Well, not signed, technically.
There is, this is Abdul's.
Okay.
I'll say.
Let's start with there.
Let's
That's
start,
the easier one.
I do recall an episode. This episode did not come out that long ago, where you mentioned about getting rejected. I think in like high school.
Oh, yeah.
And you came out and like people, I guess the girls' friends were pointing at you, and you were like, "That still haunts me to this day." And I do recognize that like there was a joking tone, but I also like every joke does have some level of like truth.
to it,
So I
period.
was just like, oh, like I'm sorry that like still haunts me.
hurt.
Thank you. It is. I do have a fear of rejection. I'm terrified of rejection because of that. Very astute observation.
Yes.
Yes. Daisha?
I don't know if I can get
Good
that
luck,
specific.
DeShawn.
I feel like with Daizha, I don't know. Should I say this?
No, say it.
I
I'm scared.
I don't feel like you love yourself as much as you should.
Facts.
Why you? I feel like Abdul
What's that?
doesn't love himself as much as he should.
Hey.
I mean, I
Instead
feel
of
like it's both of y'all.
instead of coming back, let's hear what the man has to say.
Okay. But both of us struggle with
Let's
that.
listen and not judge.
We both struggle with that. We're both awesome.
Let him finish.
Okay, bye.
So
I mean, that's it.
Why do you say that?
Specifically the clip about being dark skinned? I feel like there was like,
the comments are right.
I think to me, I understand that being a black woman in America, especially a darker skinned woman in America, there's a lot of, society society puts y'all on a lower rung, and I can understand how that would make you feel and like hate yourself. And I hope that you can learn to love yourself, despite what the external world says. And you're very fiery. You got the Aries sign. I understand that you have this. I don't want to call it an act. It's not an act, but you do have like this confidence. But it's just like I feel like if you took the armor off and was like really vulnerable, it'd be like, oh, like there is still some like pain and to be healed.
Damn, dude. That is so accurate.
No,
man.
it's not. Hold on. Did you watch that episode, the full episode?
I didn't watch the full episode.
Okay. Let me just be clear.
Do you
really
agree
quick.
with what he said?
To some extent. I asked that question because I knew you hadn't, because I just want to say on the record, if you watch the episode, that was a clip of it.
Yeah.
But in that episode, what I had said was, I do find myself beautiful. I love myself. I said I was raised by a dark-skinned woman. I have sisters that are dark-skinned and some that are light-skinned. And that I had to learn how to love myself outside of like acceptance of everybody else around me, because I wasn't America's beauty standard. That just never was the case. And I mean, you're valid in what you're saying, but I just want to be clear. If you watch that full clip, you'll see that like I wasn't saying that being dark skinned is a bad thing at all. I think I love who I am and I love my skin tone. I wouldn't change a thing about myself physically, but I do stand by being a darker skinned person is a lot tougher growing up in Washington State specifically than it was for some of my light-skinned friends or white friends. And I stand by that. And some people are going to say, tougher if you make it. It's a mindset thing. Actually, years and years of history and racism say that it's not, a mindset thing. That's what America was built off of. So I stand by that.
I agree.
But I appreciate. But I do agree with you that there are some areas in my life where I am just now learning about like my positive attributes, and like I sometimes take those things for granted, and I could love myself a lot more for sure.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, not to dive into this even deeper.
Okay.
But are you saying, you're not saying that Daizha doesn't like herself because she's black? You're saying, but because that she's a black woman in a society that has put her down, there's maybe other aspects of herself that she is not loving because of that. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if that's exactly what I'm saying, but it is like a level
That's
of.
what I'm saying.
I think society can teach you to hate things about yourself. And back on, like you mentioned, the positive aspects about yourself. I think something I learned a lot about what are traits of yourself or other people is that, at least for myself, I don't necessarily categorize things as positive or negative, because they're just traits, and how they manifest themselves in the world, like that itself is what's positive or negative. Because you could call someone a narcissist, but you could also reframe it as them being very confident. It's just like, how is that showing up in the world? Are they like being just an absolute dickhead, or are they just like, just got their posture straight or something?
Yeah.
Damn.
The narcissism. Hot take.
You're great, man.
Oh,
You're just a very observant, emotionally mature human.
Oh,
Shout out to you.
Wow.
I feel like we're wasting your talents behind the camera. We should put you in front of the camera
Abdul's
more
just
often.
saying that because his perception of Abdul was a lot lighter than mine.
Here we go. Back to what you said. DeShawn said what I don't even need to say.
I think you're great, Daizha.
Thank you. I know. But okay, I like that though. I do feel like you're able to kind of like see us before the cameras are rolling, after the cameras are rolling, and pick up on like when we're being passive aggressive or when we're being serious. Like I think the first
Why'd
week
you
you
look
started,
at me when you said passive aggressive?
because I think the week
That was passive aggressive within
No,
itself.
it wasn't even about you. Why are you caressing that C like that? He was doing like this in circles, like with
It's
one
a G, first of all.
Yo. But
Only
the
correction.
first week or two that DeShawn had started, Abdul and I were going through some hurdles in our podcast relationship, and DeShawn got to see, like, I think there was one episode where we filmed a whole episode just arguing, and like poor DeShawn was just sitting behind the camera like like watching, and then me and Abdul like talked about it later. Like, but I just think, yeah, you get to see all angles. So I welcome your views, and we call this a touch of messy because we want to be vulnerable. We want people to, see the different sides of us. Let's see, what else do I have for us? Okay.
We appreciate you, DeShawn.
Yes.
Welcome
Yes.
addition to the family. Much like I said on the last episode, my nephew kind of brought my family together. You've brought us together.
Wow. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also even just like the attention to detail when it comes to the editing and stuff, we also just really appreciate that because I feel like there's things that you do that we're like, oh, we didn't even think about that, but it's made such a difference with just this one little clip.
I love the little Italy flag that was going across every time. I know it's a lot of work to do too, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Pick me up.
Let's get to we've done the touch. Let's get to the messy.
Yeah.
Whoa, bars.
So
Cut that out, DeShawn.
given you do see us and you know us pretty well, I have a list of who's more likely to. And feel free, you can add some more into here if you'd like, by
Okay.
the way. Ew, I don't like the way I just touched you. It like kind of slid. It was a little too like intimate for me. And I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't like it, and I hate that you're drawing even more attention.
Yeah,
to
it kind of was
I'm
like
trying
a,
to move on
it was
from
like
it.
a slide.
I will say,
Like-
okay, I do know my favorite clip actually.
Okay.
It just reminded me. There was a clip where you were saying Abdul called you on the phone and was like, "Daizha, I love you," and you said you almost like swerved your car into
Almost.
traffic.
That sounds like an accident. It was on purpose.
Even when you were coming back from the airport, I was like, "Hey, Daizha, I love you." I texted you that.
And you know what I hate about that? I had my AirPods in, and your AirPods read it to you. So it was like, message from Abdul, Daizha, I love you. And I'm literally in the middle of the airport like, can anyone else hear this? God.
If you saw Daizha in the airport just staring 1,000-mile stare with sweat coming down, just know that. I love that I've been able to weaponize the word "I love you" as much as I can.
I have a weird thing with affection, guys. I
Yeah?
don't like affection being misplaced. I feel like Abdul says it as a joke.
Should
He's
we
not
unpack
like,
this?
He's not like,
Let's
yeah.
unpack it. We have free telehealth right now.
Like, hear me. Like, I feel like I've grown up in situations where like people will use "I love you" as like a weapon against you,
That's
where
real,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, we're fighting and stuff. Like my parents are fighting, and then like they're like, okay, like we love you guys, like we're family, and it's like you're saying this, like you ignored me all day. You're saying this now because there was a big fight and we had to go, do these separate things, and now we're back together. Or a partner, right? You go through a breakup, and they're like, I love you, don't leave me, and it's like, why? Like you're saying it because of this fight, And so when it comes to like friendships and stuff like that, I feel like sometimes when people say it, like in general, like especially when like it's for the first time or whatever, I always have to question when people say that to me. Like, why? Like, why are you saying that now? Like sometimes it feels misplaced.
I get that.
Yeah, you've talked about this with the therapist, right? This is not the first time you've talked about it. Just making sure.
I mean, this reminds me of how in All About Love by Bell Hooks, she mentioned, the difference between like a loving family versus a caring, where it's like, oh, they take care of your needs. Like they give you a house, they give you food. But then it's like when you're looking for affection or you need affection as a child, sometimes you get your ass beat and you're like, okay, I was like asking a question. Why am I getting my ass beat right now?
Yeah, and the love that you give as an adult is what you learned as a kid, and it's showing right now.
Whatever.
Whatever, you
Too-
fucking
this
nerds.
Is, this is too emotional for
Hey.
me. No, I'm just
We'll
kidding.
say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Daizha.
See, it's uncomfortable. He uses it as a weapon still.
not a weapon.
I mean, I think both of you, maybe Abdul more. I think y'all use the layer of humor to, the shield from the
Pain.
the core of the emotion.
I will say I say I love you to Jordan pretty often.
Oh, that's
to
nice.
Kyla, to a bunch of my friends.
Do
I'm
you?
an I love you kind of person. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. My definition
when
of
you
love
say-
is if I want good for somebody despite it not being good for me, I think that is a sign that I love somebody.
But when you say it to me, do you mean it though?
I
Because I
do.
feel like you don't be texting me back.
When I said it,
I'm like, this is a
when I
professional
said it the
relationship.
first time, you were helping me through a tough thing, and I was like, "Hey, I appreciate you and I love you."
And then he started crying, and it's just like, this is a lot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
But
just kidding.
since then, knowing that you had that reaction to it, I turned it into a bit. But the first
Yeah.
time I said it, it came from a real place.
But see, and it's like, I care for Abdul a lot, and like I want the best for him, and I'm like, man, this guy's loved by the community. He's like such a good guy, like such a genuine good person. But at the same time, I'm like, when he like the thought of like it would be reciprocated is so weird to me. I don't know why. Like, oh, he wants the best for me too. It's so weird, and I think it's only because we use so much humor, and like that's just how our friendship is, I guess.
We should have a serious episode where we just fully dive into it.
We just. I don't want to say that on the camera.
DeShawn,
Dude, I love you so much.
turn on the gain on this microphone and add in what she said.
So remember when you were talking about like liking to eat ass, Abdul? DeShawn, what's your take on eating ass?
I think if it's sanitary, if it's clean, fresh out the shower, hell yeah. Like, absolutely.
Okay, we just had to get him implemented into the butt stuff, because I feel like, first of all, everyone thinks that Abdul's obsessed with butt. Like, all of my messages are like, is this so we were at Abdul's birthday party, and they were playing a bunch of like bump and grind music, like twerk music and stuff, and someone asked me, is this on purpose because he likes ass so much?
Who said that?
I know, I can't tell you. Anyways, and I was like, why do people keep saying that? And then I like go back to our feed, and every single clip of Abdul is him talking about ass or butts. The most recent one was like, took me a long time to put a thumb in a butt, and it's just
I just
like
want to
so
say, I was in
Yeah.
Kenya when that one came out. Whoa, pause.
when that one pulled out.
When that one pulled out.
I mean, that
And
was an early recording.
Yeah, that was
early recording.
that. Yeah.
He's like, since then, multiple butts have sat on this thumb.
I don't like that. that you did associated with the butt.
clicking.
And also the fact that you said absolutely when it came to fresh out the shower butt confirms my theory. I've been theorizing you as well. DeShawn's a fucking freak, man. And
Hell
that
yeah.
theory checks out.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
What's something messy about you?
Messy?
What?
Yeah,
That was pretty messy.
that was touch.
Okay.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
I don't know if I want to reveal that though.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that thing. You can say something different.
I have to think. I don't know if I'm that. I don't really feel like I'm. What's the definition of messy?
Like a little drama.
Like a little drama.
I don't think I have that much drama. You know, this is a trait of mine. I think I'm like very good at goodbye, but like almost to the point of like where it's an issue. Where if like, if someone leaves out of my life, I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Like,
Ooh.
Oh, like you won't you don't
I just
double
move
back?
on. Like, it's just like I just got to move forward.
You don't
know?
double back?
Definitely not. No. I don't double back. I think about it. I have double backed. Let me say that. And then it did not turn out well. And so then
Tell us. It sounds messy.
I have left an ex and got back together, and I think it was not a great decision. Just because like we broke up for a reason, and like I feel like you should not really get back together with an ex, because like the reasons why you would probably break up with someone are just things that cannot be consoled. Like, I don't think poorly of her. I think she's a great person. She's very smart. She's like getting her PhD right now. But it was just like
Not compatible.
not compatible at all. I think the relationship for me, I was just like, oh, she's very cute. Like, let's be in a relationship. But then like, I was like, I don't know if we were like outside of being in a relationship. I don't know if we would have ever been friends for real. But that's not like a
Sorry, guys.
dig on her. That's just more like we just have different interests.
Thanks for being vulnerable and open with us. We're going to bring it back to your time with us and like what you've picked up.
Yes.
And I love how vulnerable you are with like your perception of us. So we're going to go ahead and do a game of who's more likely to.
Okay.
And I want you to, I'm going to name something or, give a scenario, and I want you to say who you think is more likely to. I'll go, then Abdul will go, and then I'll go.
Okay.
So, who's more likely to ghost after a bad date?
Probably Abdul.
I agree. I actually agree. Why would you say that?
You have explicitly said you have very avoidant tendencies, and I just feel like with you, Daizha, you might be like, you might actually confront a person after a bad date.
I agree with that portion about me. Yes.
Cool.
If I've ghosted you, I'm sorry. Right into the podcast, and Daizha will Venmo you $50.
From Abdul's account.
Question for you: who's most likely to delete all their social for a mental reset? That's not fair.
You say delete?
All their socials for a mental reset.
I guess Abdul, yeah.
100%. I take that with honor.
You know, you can like, do you know about the Meta Business Suite app?
Mm-mm.
So it's if your Instagram account is a business account, you can get the Meta Business Suite app, and it lets you post and also message people without actually having the Instagram app.
Oh shit.
I feel like he
This
does
is
it
a
for
game
dramatic
changer.
effect. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he wants people to be like, "Where's Abdul? He deleted his Instagram. I hope he's okay."
There is a bit of
don't want anybody checking in on me.
there's a bit of theater involved with deleting your Instagram account.
I agree. And this man, he's getting the Golden Globes.
I think maybe the first couple times, but at this point, it's just like, I like not being so tied to this. I want people to know, like, hey, don't feel like you can just message me whenever. Don't feel like I'm readily available
He
for
said,
you.
"I'm not accessible."
Yeah.
No, I
He's
agree.
a D&D bandit.
Literally, the only reason I keep Instagram, I only download Instagram when I'm posting something, because even though you can post it to the Meta Business Suite app, you can't like post it and then share it to your story. So it's like I just post it, share it to my story, and then just delete the app. And if
Yeah.
people message me, I'll know.
Shit. When I do find my phone, I'm going to download that app.
Who's more likely to text their ex after a few mimosas?
Abdul just said you like drunk text people. like I don't know.
Is Abdul your final answer?
This one's a toss up because you have explicitly said you drunk text people, but I would not doubt Daizha has, and it's just one of those things that she won't necessarily reveal.
What? Remember a second ago when I said I don't make decisions after being drunk?
Well, I feel like that's just not how being drunk works. You know?
Fine.
So you select Daizha, or
I'm gonna go Daizha on this one.
I agreed on the last two. If you said me, I would have fought hard because I'm not, at least an ex. I'm very much a give space, even with the whole situation where there's something I need to be sent. I was like, hey, I think this would be of interest. Daizha, you do it. I'm not going to retread old water that way. So it is Daizha. The fact Daizha stalked her therapist's mom on Facebook.
That did happen.
Yeah.
But I wasn't drunk. I was sober.
The terrifying laugh. Next one. Who's more likely to quit their job for a completely random career change?
Right now, Daizha.
He literally just did it last year.
But he said right now. What would I quit my job for now? Be a full-time DJ?
Yes. Indubitably. Okay, you said
DeShawn?
Daizha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I feel, if one A&R like really hit you up and was fucking with you, like I can't imagine you staying at insert company. I can't imagine you staying there if like someone from Capitol Records was like, "Yo, Daizha, you're the shit. Like, we would love to work with you." There's no fucking way you're staying there.
It doesn't even have to be a real email. It could be a scam email. And she's like, you know what? That's all I needed. I quit. Do you agree? Because I do.
Yeah, but I definitely think Abdul though, because Abdul like wakes up every day and decides he wants to.
I've done it already. So
Yeah. Sometimes he's like, I'm gonna go get
I've
another
done it too.
engineer
Yeah.
job, and then he's like, I'm not gonna get an engineer job, and then I'm just like, must be nice to have options, bro.
yeah, it's pretty nice. You should set yourself
Up for
up
success.
for success.
You just gotta believe in yourself,
Yeah.
The options are available as long as you're willing to believe that they are available to you.
Ooh, put that on a t-shirt. First piece of merch. All right, next one.
Who's more likely to suddenly move to a new city for a fresh start?
I'm gonna say Daizha.
I feel like that's Abdul. He's literally like, guys,
You
I'm
wrote
moving
all
to
of
Kenya.
you wrote all of these with me in mind.
No.
You thought all the answers were going to be me.
No. But Abdul literally like, guys, I'm moving to Kenya.
But who's more likely to actually do it? I've talked about it. I've been in this shitty state for
You're right.
17, 18 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Thank you for playing. But now you're under the hot seat. And I need a little bit more energy for this.
Okay. Energy?
Yep,
All
energy.
right.
I'm going to play a game that I played with Abdul early on. And basically what it is
Good luck.
I'm going to try to get you caught up. Caught up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to name some words. How about you do it to this one?
Me?
Yeah, and then I'll do the rest.
Okay.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Abdul's going to start, and he's going to name a word, and you have to say the first thing that comes to mind. You don't get to, there's no sentences. It's just first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay? Ready?
Are you ready?
I think so.
3, 2, 1. Tory Lanez.
Shoot. Shot.
Bubbles.
Bubbles bath.
Beanbag.
Sitting.
Bundles.
Hair.
Rodeo.
Riding.
Stunting.
Flex.
Triple.
Double.
Body.
Got him.
Knees.
Weak.
Humble.
Not me.
Beyonce.
Nah.
Ah! Ring.
Cutting that one out.
Ring.
Ring. Finger.
Ooh. Hey, the freak is coming
Chicken.
Head.
Okay.
out. Head. Head.
Oh, throat.
Dos leches. Homemade baby oil.
Oh my God. You did nice. You did nice.
That was, if I was your publicist, I would be clapping in the corner. You handled that great.
Oh, thank you.
I called Blueface Tall and
Sierra, a man.
Sarah Man and
Yo.
DeShawn. What's her name? Krishan? Stinky. But these were, you said, these were easy. I think Tory Lanez was probably the tough one.
He was like, shoot, shot.
No, I was like, I don't think about Tory Lanez ever. So like,
Should have said R. Kelly. Yeah, so, well, anyways, we are super glad to introduce DeShawn. Thank you for coming on to the front of the camera. Abdul, anything else you want to say?
I think this is confirmation that we need to have a mic in the back over there. And just in the future, if you hear a voice off screen, just know that this is the freak behind the voice. Appreciate you.
Oh, of
Yes.
course.
Anything you want to say? You want to shout out your Instagrams? You have shows coming up?
I guess I'll just talk about things I'm doing. First, hit me up on Instagram. Don't hit me up.
Hit me up on Meta Business
Check me out. Instagram is it's DeShawn Rivers. The TikTok is just DeShawn Rivers. Not just. It's DeShawn Rivers. Things I'm up to. I produced an EP for my boy Ben Duluth. It's like an R&B EP. It's called All the Gold's Gone. Great music. I wrote the song Miss Hollywood, so check that out. I got a couple shows coming up that are, one's in Everett in like a month, then possibly one in like Barboza or Chop Suey. I don't know. That one's not confirmed. Debut album coming out in the summer.
Woo!
Late June, early July. Wait for it. Song Pancakes, song Willy Wonka is going to be up. It's going to be an undeniable year.
Now that I know the freaky side of you, everything
Did you
like
do with those pancakes?
Willy Wonka and pancakes, I'm like, oh damn, this is some freaky shit that he's into.
The everlasting gobstopper.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for this. I'm excited for all your stuff coming out and all your shows. Check out Instagram to see if those shows are actually coming up or not. And if you see him in the street, give him $1, and I will Venmo you back that $1. Let's get some engagement. Daizha?
Adios.
Alcohol, I'm fucked up. Nigga, I'm twisted.